Yo, YouTube. It's your boy J Steph, man. We back at it with another YouTube documentary reaction. All right, we are in Ireland again, so shout out to all my Ireland people, man. One of y'all has suggested I check out Martin Cahill, the General. That is his nickname, okay? And this is by Narcotics Underworld. We've reacted to Narcotics Underworld before. Definitely great content. Be sure to check them out. All right, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe down to the channel. I got more gang war videos in the description, man. So go look that up. It's a playlist. I got like 90 plus videos in there. You can binge watch, have a ball. It's basically Netflix on this channel. Okay, I got endless videos for y'all to watch and catch up on. All right, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tap them links down below. Okay, without further ado, man, let's get into this documentary. Shout out Narcotics Underworld. Take it over.
Dublin morning in the early 1980s. The Irish police force found themselves at the scene of yet another baffling crime. This time, it was a bold robbery at a prominent jewellery store in the heart of the city, leaving investigators astounded by the audacity and the surgical precision of the heist. The mastermind behind it all? A shadowy figure known as the General, a criminal genius who'd become the scourge of the Irish police.
Turn this up.
Martin Cahill had already established a notorious reputation by this point, not just for the scale of his crimes, but for his ability to stay one step ahead of the police. Over the next decade, he would orchestrate a series of high-profile heists, taunting the authorities with his elusiveness and careful planning. His methods were unconventional, his operations meticulously planned, and his knack for evading capture legendary. This is the story of Martin Cahill, the seemingly untouchable criminal who outwitted the police for more than a decade. Before he became one of Ireland's most notorious criminals, Martin Cahill was just another kid trying to survive the rough streets of Dublin. But even from a young age, he had something others didn't: an uncanny ability to outsmart those who stood in his way. This is the story of how a petty thief turned into the General, the mastermind who would leave the authorities chasing shadows for years. Born on May the 23rd, 1949, Cahill didn't find the scales turned his way. His family lived in Grenville Street, in Dublin's north inner city, and found it hard to make ends meet.
How was that in y'all history? Irish people, let me know in the comment section on my Irish people. Y'all be telling me about y'all culture and what be going on over there and how life was and shit like that. Y'all be teaching me, you know what I'm saying? That's why I do these videos, and I actually genuinely enjoy learning about, shit in other countries, man, because it's crazy over here. But yeah, let me know in the comment section.
And his family, which included 12 children, moved into a house in Crumlin, a working class area. He participated in petty theft, stealing food and necessities for his family. From an early age, Cahill quickly developed an uncanny ability to manipulate situations to his advantage.
I'm sorry for pausing, but y'all see how stuff like, see how the cycle goes? You see how, your living conditions and the way you grow up and stuff like that. Like he's stealing because he's stealing food for his family. You know what I'm saying? He got 12 people in that crib, 12 kids in that crib. Goddamn, you know what I'm saying? So circumstances, your environment creates what you gotta, you gotta do what you gotta do. It's a simple saying, right? You gotta do what you gotta do, bro. Just simple as that.
Into an opportunity. His first encounter with the justice system came at the tender age of 12, when he was convicted of larceny. This conviction marked the beginning of his lifelong dance with the law, a relationship in which he would often stay one step ahead of the authorities. As he matured, so did his criminal activities.
Wow.
By 16, he'd been sentenced to 2 years in Dengen, an industrial school in County Offaly, for burglary, his fifth conviction by that point. The industrial school was a harsh environment, run by the Oblates of Mary Immaculate, a religious order. It was here, in the bogs of Offaly, that Cahill claimed his true criminal mindset began to take shape. In his later years, he would reflect on this time, stating, "If anyone corrupted me, it was those mad monks down in the bog." This experience is often cited as a turning point in his life, a claim that resonated with many who believed that Ireland's institutional systems, particularly those run by the church, played a role in creating the criminals they sought to reform. Ironic, isn't it?
Like, bro, I know how old this was, but he looked like a modern day UK driller. Like, he's dressed up just like them, bro. He got a hood on, ski mask on. Like,
think such
bro.
institutions should change their approach to correcting young people. Nevertheless, upon his release in 1967, Cahill appeared to want a fresh start. In a letter to one of the Oblate brothers, he expressed a genuine desire to leave his criminal past behind and live a normal, law-abiding life. He had found work, earning between £11 and £17 a week, and had even started saving his money. His writing reflected a simple, almost hopeful...
That's very low as for right now, but back in the day, I remember y'all telling me that's a lot of money for back in the day. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, that's probably equivalent to like... I have no idea. Y'all tell me in the comment section. I'm out of school. I'm not doing that shit no more.
Please God I stay like that. He had met a girl, Frances, whom he intended to marry, and for a brief moment, it seemed that Cahill might walk away from a life of crime. But fate had other plans, and the lure of easy money proved too strong to resist. Despite his initial attempts to live a law-abiding life, the lure of easy money and the thrill of outsmarting the system proved too strong. In 1968, Cahill married Frances, the woman who would stand by him throughout his life of crime, but his attempts to live within the bounds of the law quickly faded. Cahill's early experience with theft had taught him how to take without getting caught. His time in Dangan had given him a deeper understanding of human nature and authority, and his return to Dublin saw him stepping into a world of more organised, calculated crime. What separated Cahill from many other criminals of his time was his approach. He was not just a thug looking for a quick score. From the beginning, he showed signs of the meticulous planning and patience that would define his later heists. His operations were often executed with military-like precision, which earned him the nickname of the General from the media. This title, however, was not just a nod to his leadership skills, but also to his ability to strategize and outmaneuver the authorities at every turn. While we're on the subject, this nickname became the title of the book written on the gangster by Paul Williams, detailing his life. There was also a film made under the same title, starring Brendan Gleeson, which depicted a crime spree, the ruthless mobster.
Should I watch that, y'all? Put in the comment section.
Here's the trailer of that movie.
Like on my free time, I'm not going to react to it on here. Hell no. Maybe when I start streaming.
Confess a few crimes. You know why they sent me here, don't you?
Because of me, I hope.
Yes, because of you. Because they think I know your wiles and your ways. And I do.
It was my life.
The movie led Gleeson's acting career to shoot up. Coming back to the general story, in the early stages of his criminal career, Cahill kept a relatively low profile. He didn't immediately dive into high-profile crimes, but rather built his reputation slowly, focusing on smaller but lucrative operations. His ability to evade detection during these years was remarkable, even as he faced the occasional setback. Every time the police came close, Cahill would shift gears, changing tactics, and leave them scrambling for answers. He was always one step ahead, a trait that would frustrate the police for more than a decade. But what made Cahill so effective? It wasn't just his criminal instincts, but also his deep understanding of the systems he was up against. Growing up in a working-class neighbourhood, he had seen firsthand how institutions like the police, the welfare system, and even the church operated. He knew their strengths and, more importantly, their weaknesses. As a result, he crafted his criminal enterprises with these vulnerabilities in mind.
Like, do you see how he's moving right now? Like, every time he out in public without his ski mask on, he just, you know what I'm saying, just talk, like, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm pretty sure they're probably trying to read lips or, you know, I don't know, bro. Like, this nigga, system, hold on.
Understanding that bureaucracy often worked in his favour. The police were often too slow, the welfare system too rigid, and the public too distracted to see what was happening right under their noses. As Cahill's reputation grew, so did his ambitions. But his rise was not without its moments of tension. Even within the criminal underworld, Cahill was seen as an outlier. He wasn't particularly interested in aligning himself with established gangs or syndicates, but despite his avoidance of the gang associations, Cahill maintained a curious public...
He got aura. I ain't gonna lie. He got some aura right now. I ain't gonna. This look hard. I ain't gonna lie. He look like. Nah, he ain't gonna lie. We talking about huts. Y'all saying, hold on, my man, Martin Cahill got the aura right now. Hold on.
Wearing
we find out.
Wigs, false moustaches, even a balaclava, mocking the very system that was trying to bring him down. In one famous incident, he stripped off his clothing in front of reporters, revealing a Mickey Mouse t-shirt. Here's a glimpse of this media coverage.
This nigga.
Martin Cahill, alleged to be the general, one of Dublin's godfathers of crime, has been appearing on a minor public order charge.
You're not going to believe what he will do next.
But he used a public court appearance to demonstrate his contempt for the Gardaí and to mock their methods.
Yo. Man took off his pants.
Now
This
that
nigga's
sounds
tripping.
like a quirky criminal. The press couldn't get enough of him. And considering these shenanigans, rightly so. Here's a glimpse of his media coverage.
To me now, this is just a big publicity thing because of the want to show people. He made sort of like fools.
Is this the first gangster in European history to have a balaclava on? Like is he the first UK driller or European driller? Shit.
When questioned by reporters about why he wore a balaclava in public, Cahill famously responded, "Maybe if I was guilty, I probably wouldn't. Seeing that I'm innocent, I do." It were statements like these that cemented his reputation as a man who could toy with the system, operating on the fringes of legality with apparent impunity. Every appearance in front of the media was a calculated move to further craft his public image as a criminal genius who was always one step ahead of the law. Yet, despite his growing fame,
I think it's like an
remained
evil
a
villain.
shadowy figure. Rarely seen
Or,
without
I don't know,
his face
I wouldn't say
obscured
evil.
by a mask,
Just stealing shit.
balaclava.
I mean,
His
money
true
from
identity
banks.
was something of a mystery to many. This only added to his allure. The man behind the heists remained elusive, feeding into the myth of the general. His masked appearances became symbolic of his ability to stay out of reach of the police. Even his reputation grew larger with each passing year. Cahill's public image wasn't all of his own making, though. The media, in many ways, was responsible for building the legend around him. His heists were covered with almost breathless fascination.
Wow.
Each new story adding layers to his persona as the mastermind who outwitted the authorities time and time again. The press detailed his cunning, his brazen defiance of the security agencies, and his ability to stay ahead of the game, all while portraying him as a character larger than life. One of the more personal aspects of Cahill's media coverage came with the investigation into his lifestyle, particularly his finances. Despite pulling off multi-million-pound heists, Cahill remained on welfare, collecting the dole like any other struggling Dublin resident.
Like the rest in these queues, Martin Cahill has full entitlement to dole money. He claims on a wife and 3 children, address given 21 Swan Grove.
Wow. Finessing the system, boy.
Personal
Real
number
live.
GD 126702. Unemployment assistance of £92 10p per week, plus £5 fuel voucher.
The contradiction between his lavish criminal enterprises and his modest official income was not lost on the media, which covered his ongoing reliance on social welfare in a mixture of shock and bemusement. But while he may have played the role of a quirky outlaw to the public, those who knew him personally saw a much darker side. Cahill was ruthless when it came
Do
to
y'all
protecting his interests.
do y'all think that it is okay to steal from banks? Like, do y'all care about that? Like, would y'all rather have the rich be stolen from than like mom and pop shops or like little shops that you see on the block and shit like that? Would y'all rather have, people steal from the bank? I feel like I'd rather have people steal from the man or the higher ups than, than small little mom and pop shops or little gas stations and shit here and there, bruh. Like, real shit, though. Because it's like, if you think about it, man, I don't know. I feel like I'm on some power to the people shit. But, like, yeah, bruh, I just feel like I can't get mad at a guy like Martin Cahill because at the end of the day, what he's doing this for, he just trying to feed his family, bro. And I completely understand. With that, bro. I do, bro. He ain't killing nobody. He ain't offing nobody. You know what I'm saying? He ain't killing innocent people. You know what I mean? He just trying to eat. I get it, bro. I respect it. I get it, bro.
Instance,
you know what I'm
when
saying?
His welfare payments were cut, he arranged the kidnapping and shooting of a Department of Social Welfare inspector.
Never mind. I just wow. Somebody clipped that. Wow. I didn't. Okay.
ruthless when it came to protecting his interests.
What the fuck? I just vouched for this nigga. What the hell?
Fair payments were cut. He arranged the kidnapping and shooting of a Department of Social Welfare inspector. A chilling reminder of just how far he was willing to go.
My fault. I ain't mean it.
All
right.
From stealing food to feed his family to orchestrating complex robberies, Cahill's evolution from petty thief to criminal mastermind was defined by his ability to adapt, plan, and outsmart those around him. As one Dublin investigator put it, Martin Cahill didn't just steal, he calculated every move. He treated crime like a game of chess. He was always thinking 10 steps ahead. The stage was now set for a career that would defy the police for over a decade, leaving a trail of high-profile heists and unanswered questions in its wake. So what were the crimes that propelled him to fame? The most notorious feather in his criminal cap would be the 1983's O'Connor's Jewellery Factory. This meticulously planned operation resulted in a staggering haul of over 1.5 million Irish pounds in goods. Demonstrated Cahill's keen mind for planning, as his gang exploited vulnerabilities in the factory security by entering through a less secured boiler room. They subdued the key holders at gunpoint upon their arrival, forcing them to disable the alarms and open the vaults. Even today, this heist amazes many. The General's audacity escalated further in 1986 with another high-stakes theft, this time veering into the world of art. Cahill orchestrated the theft of valuable paintings from Rusborough House, an estate known for its extensive art collection. The stolen pieces included works by Vermeer, Goya, and other masters. The heist involved bypassing elaborate security systems.
See, that's where you get into that money, boy. You get into that money when you start stealing paintings. Dead ass. And I believe, I don't know if he passed away or whatever. I don't know where Martin Cahill is at. Maybe I'll get to the end and then, you know what I'm saying, they'll tell me where he at right now today. But I'm pretty sure if this motherfucker was active today, the motherfucking Mona Lisa would be stolen. He would have had that shit, boy. Got on God, boy. Real shit.
Ruthlessness of the acts. Cahill's lifestyle and operations were paradoxical. Despite the immense wealth he accrued from his criminal activities, he maintained a relatively modest life in public view. Living in a simple house in Rathmines with his wife Frances and moving frequently between this and another family residence. This modesty was a strategic choice, designed to deflect attention from his ill-gotten gains and keep the police at bay. The climax of Cahill's criminal career came with his death in 1994, a shocking and mysterious incident that had tongues wagging for decades. Media interest in Cahill didn't wane after his death. If anything, it intensified. The Criminal Assets Bureau launched an investigation into Cahill's wealth, seeking to seize the assets he had accumulated through his criminal activities. The house he had bought for 80,000 Irish pounds in Rathmines, which had since appreciated to a value of over 300,000 euro, became a focal point of these investigations. The CAB was determined to strip Cahill's estate of the proceeds of his crime, and the media closely followed every development in this ongoing battle. In fact, after his death, the CAB found much more than they expected when they seized his house. During a routine inspection, officers discovered a stash of valuables buried in the back garden. The items, which included silverware and chalices stole from a church, were another testament to Cahill's extensive and varied criminal enterprises. The discovery made headlines, with the press once again fascinated by the lingering mysteries surrounding the General. Even in death, Cahill's ability to surprise and intrigue the public endured. So how did the General die? For decades, Martin Cahill outsmarted the police, slipping through their grasp and carrying out some of the most daring and lucrative heists in Irish history. But on August the 18th, 1994, his luck ran out. In broad daylight, as Cahill sat behind the wheel of his car in Dublin's Ranelagh district, a lone gunman approached and eliminated him at point-blank range. The hit was executed with clinical precision, leaving Cahill dead instantly.
Why was somebody... What ops did he have?
Immediate aftermath, suspicion fell on fellow mobster John Gilligan. Gilligan, a known figure in Dublin's criminal underworld,
Look at this.
had a long history with...
What the fuck is he eating?
Instantly.
What the hell?
Immediate aftermath, suspicion fell on fellow mobster John Gilligan. Gilligan.
Who is John Gilligan? I'm gonna have to do a video on this nigga. Look at this. Look at this nigga. This nigga is more ripped than me. What the hell? This is how I'm trying to look when I'm like 80 years old. I ain't gonna lie.
Known figure
Trying to look like that too.
Underworld.
Shit, I might need to learn about this guy.
And their relationship was far from
I didn't whack the general.
Speculation grew that Cahill's murder was the result of a power struggle between the two crime bosses. Gilligan himself acknowledged the rumours in later interviews, stating, "There's a couple of people thinking I'm responsible for killing Martin Cahill." He even went further, saying, "People say I got Paddy Dutchy Holland to do it." Holland, a known enforcer for Gilligan, was later convicted of the elimination of journalists.
Who said anything about Paddy, whatever he said?
The rumors that he had been
Nobody said that, bro.
At the time, the theory that Gilligan had orchestrated the assassination made sense to many. Cahill and Gilligan had once been close, but their relationship soured as they moved in different directions. Gilligan transitioned from traditional robberies to drug trafficking, a move that Cahill reportedly disapproved of.
Yeah.
Cahill made it clear that he wanted nothing to do with the narcotic trade.
Yeah, he didn't want the
Tensions
narcotics.
between the two men escalated. However, as investigators delved deeper, a different story began to emerge. One that pointed away from Gilligan and towards the involvement of a far more powerful organisation, the Irish Republican Army. For months, the IRA remained silent on their role in Cahill's death, allowing the rumour of Gilligan's involvement to swirl. But eventually they came forward and claimed responsibility for the assassination, shifting the narrative entirely. The IRA's decision to take out Cahill.
That's legal? That's legal. So the Irish army can just say, I want to off this nigga and go off him. And then that's legal? What the fuck? Somebody got to go to jail for that, bruh.
Alleged involvement with loyalist terrorists. A betrayal that the Republican group could not forgive. In May 1994, just months before Cahill's elimination, a UVF hit squad attempted to install an explosive device in a pub in Dublin, Widow Scanlon's on Pierce Street, where a Republican fundraiser was taking place. The attack was foiled by Martin Doherty, a young Republican doorman who noticed something suspicious and refused to let the attackers into the crowded pub. In retaliation, the UVF gunman shot Doherty multiple times at close range, taking his life. The IRA later discovered that Cahill had allegedly provided a safe house for the UVF assailants the night before the attack. This revelation sealed his fate. According to an IRA insider, Cahill organised the safe house for a loyalist terror gang, and he crossed the line. He never cared about politics. He was just into the money. For the IRA, it didn't matter that Cahill was primarily a criminal with no interest in politics. His action had indirectly aided their enemies and led to the death of one of their own. As far as we were concerned, Cahill had betrayed our country and had to pay the price.
Wow.
Continued. The Dublin Brigade of the IRA decided to execute Cahill in retaliation for Martin Doherty's elimination.
Oh,
and the
wow.
Army Council approved the plan. On August the 18th, 1994, the plan was put into action. Cahill, who had evaded the police for years with his meticulous planning and ability to stay under the radar, was caught off guard. He'd been under the Garda surveillance for some time, but his movements that day suggested no immediate danger. As he sat in his car in Charleston Road in Ranelagh, waiting at a stop sign, a gunman dressed as a workman calmly approached and opened fire. The assassin fled the scene on a stolen motorbike, which was later found abandoned.
See, then that's the thing about it, bruh. Like, how the fuck? Why? Okay, so if this was done by the army in a sense, and he portrayed the country, why are y'all then burning mopeds and doing all this shit like y'all done up my man on the drill? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, bro, if y'all gonna be bout it, nigga, just say that y'all did it, like y'all just did. What's with all the secrecy and shit like that? You know what I'm saying? Man, look, this shit.
In a matter of moments, one of Ireland's most notorious criminals had been silenced. Not by the police, who had hunted him for years, but by an organisation he had fatally underestimated. As for Gilligan,
so there's like an organisation.
Gilligan,
okay, so
for his
that,
part,
all right.
Didn't shy away from the rumours. He claimed he had once been close to Cahill, even boasting that he'd paid him a wage of £500 a week. Martin wasn't doing too good, Gilligan said. He also hinted that Cahill had made little money from his infamous robberies, despite the millions they had netted. But despite the persistent rumours, no concrete evidence ever linked Gilligan
I don't know, it sounds like he hating, I ain't gonna lie.
to Cahill's death. Instead, the IRA's claim of responsibility held up under scrutiny. Nevertheless, Martin Cahill's public image has always been that of a cunning but frugal man, one who claimed social welfare benefits while amassing fortunes from high-profile robberies. The CAB's investigation after his death, however, revealed a hidden world of wealth that contrasted starkly with the modest persona Cahill had cultivated.
I ain't gonna lie, I knew he had it. I'm gonna just end it here too, because they probably about to, outro type shit, but yeah, and then we 25 minutes in anyway. So, yeah, man. I knew I knew he had more money, bro. He had more money than he was alluding to, I felt like he had a stash. I felt like he had a vault, for real. And one of them cribs, they probably found the vault and found all them riches that he had, bro. Like, you know how you be on, like, the little heist missions on GTA and shit. Like, they found the vault. I could, bro. He probably had, like, I don't know, probably had like 5 million pounds worth of shit on there, and that was a lot back then around daytime. But yeah, man, great documentary, bro. Shout out Narcotics Underworld. Sheesh, man. Martin Cahill, the general. My man was out here stealing everything, boy. Money, paintings, all that shit, man. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Shout out my Irish people. Hey, keep suggesting all the gangsters, all them, everybody. Suggest all the gangsters. I need all the content, every single thing, man. You know I'm out here. You know what I'm here to do, man. It's your boy J Steph, best UK drill reactor, gangster, Irish reactor, whatever reactor you want. Put me in. I'm the best at that. I'm here. You know what I'm saying? But be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Until next time, it's your boy.